Welcome back. Bayelsa State's Governor Siriake Dixon has cited a 45% drop in the state's revenue as part of the challenges confronting Bayelsa's scholarship scheme. He responded to controversy surrounding the state scholarship scheme, particularly for beneficiaries in the United Kingdom. The governor explained that the high number of applicants has resulted in the state overshooting its 1 billion naira budget to about 7 billion. Our correspondent in London, Doris Okengwa, reports about a meeting on Friday convened by the governor to ease tensions between the State Scholarship Board and the students.
When you learn all the good things there are to be learned in this great country, return back to Nigeria.
This meeting has been a long time coming. Time to set the record straight on the status of the Bayelsa State Scholarship Scheme. The governor convened this gathering in London to hear firsthand challenges his beneficiaries are encountering in the course of their postgraduate studies in the UK. Earlier in the year, Channels Television investigated and reported claims by some Bayelsa State students in the UK over the hardship they have had to endure owing to inconsistent release of funds by the State Scholarship Board. However, the state governor now wades in on the matter with explanations.
The total bill came to about 6 billion naira as against the 1 billion that my government had set aside. No sooner we did that than the allocations to the states came crashing. And that's why it would seem as if for some time your remittances to you have not been as regular as we would have wanted it to be. We didn't send you here on scholarship for you all to suffer.
Going by new assurances, funds will now be released speedily to clear backlogs and create a consistent stream of stipends.
Our pending scholarship obligations is about 6.5 billion naira. That is what we are exposed to. We have paid a part of it, and we are making payments. I just approved £1 million to be sent to you.
The challenges will be there because we are still going through financial crisis, not as a state, as a country, given the drop in revenue. But the commitment that the Bayelsa State government is making to all our scholars who are on scholarship abroad is that they will get government support, they will get government backup, and none of them will be left behind.
It's very clear that there have been some issues with payments. Monies not regularly, stipends not regularly coming to students. Though that has been the general challenge that every students have got. But despite that, other areas have been very fantastic.
Hopefully, this open channel of communication will continue. Doris Okengwa reporting for Channels Television News, London.
Nigeria spends an average of 356 billion naira on rice importation on an annual basis. This trend, the Anambra State government wants to reverse through massive commercial rice production, which will increase from its present 80,000 metric tons to 400,000 metric tons per annum. The state's governor, Willie Obiano, revealed this while flagging off a multi-billion naira project's joint commercial agricultural investment between the Anambra State government and Charis Group Limited at Ananku in Ayamelum local government area.
The governor and his entourage were warmly received by the people of Ayaku and other communities in Ayamelum local government area who are here to witness a revolution in rice production. With arable landmass of 2,500 hectares and a production capacity of 120,000 metric tons per annum in the first phase, the joint commercial rice production venture between the Anambra State government and Charis Group Limited was set to redefine the economic base of agriculture in the state, where the government has already made an initial commitment of 300 million naira in the partnership and had structured the venture to benefit the state and the country at large. Governor Willie Obiano also announced that the state government had begun the distribution of 102 metric tons of high-yielding rice per shea to farmers for this year's planting season through their various cooperative societies, which he reckons would give the state about 300,000 metric tons at harvest.
As we speak today, Anambra's total growth per annum for rice is only 80,000 metric tons, while our consumption is over 370 metric tons, 370,000 metric tons. So you have a large chunk that is not met, and that large chunk is about 280,000 metric tons.
Governor Obiano also says major investors would flood the state to embark on both mechanized and commercial agriculture to create wealth, provide jobs, and achieve food sufficiency, while the chairman of Costaris Group Limited outlines the implications of this partnership.
This ANA project is to be used as a pilot with a view to reaching other sectorial districts of Anambra State. ANAC project is on about 3,000 hectares of land, and it is to house various agricultural projects, both rice farm and rice milling.
A member representing Ayamelum in the State House of Assembly urged the private company to be more strategic in their employment of workers in the farm.
I appeal to the Costaris Group as you go into this project. Nando is closer. We have rice farmers at Nando. Ibaram is closer. Other Ayamelum communities are closer.
These measures are taken by the government to bring about transformation and development in agriculture, and observers say the efforts hold a great promise for the future of the state.
An outbreak of diarrhea has been reported in parts of Niger State, north-central Nigeria, including Minna, the state capital. A chief medical director of the General Hospital Minna, Dr. Ibrahim Kolo, who confirmed this to Channels Television, said no death has been recorded so far, but the situation is almost becoming an epidemic. In our community reports today, we take a look at preventive measures against the disease.
Now you're talking.
This is the General Hospital Minna. In the last few days, this facility has witnessed a large influx of people suffering from diarrhea. The Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Dr. Ibrahim Kolo, confirmed the epidemic, but explains that the hospital is up to the task.
Diarrhea and vomiting, what we call gastroenteritis clinically, is caused by so many disease conditions. But the bottom line is poor personal hygiene and environmental sanitation. This is the bottom line. And it can be caused by so many disease conditions, ranging from bacteria, poisons, and so many things, including cholera, which we've not established in this case. But the research, the investigation is ongoing. But generally, once your water, the water you take is contaminated, you can come down with diarrhea and vomiting from whatever bacteria or whatever has contaminated the water or food you are taking.
He also spoke of the preventive measures for the disease that is characterized by frequent watery stooling.
Government needs support of everybody to ensure that we have a very clean environment that is free of all these organisms and contaminants that causes diarrhea and vomiting, and also provide breeding space for insects like mosquitoes and so on that causes disease condition. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians that healthcare is a collective effort by everybody, including government and individuals and private organizations. Once we are able to take care of our environment, more than 95% of our disease condition will be settled.
Many of the patients are children. Some of the adult patients share their experiences.
Day before yesterday, they rushed me to the hospital because I was vomiting. My body was so weak, I can't be able to eat, I can't walk. That is why they rushed me to the hospital.
Health is wealth, and so the residents of the power state are expected to be aware of the existence of the epidemic in the state and follow all measures that would prevent a major outbreak.
Now you're talking.
The abduction of these schoolgirls from Chibok, Borno State, has drawn much attention to sexual violence and violence against women, especially in areas of conflict. To address these issues, a global summit on ending sexual violence and conflict will be holding from June 10th to 13th in London. The summit is expected to be the largest international gathering ever held on the issue and will be co-chaired by the UK Foreign Secretary and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Setting the mood for the summit, the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos held a session of moderated discussion. It was attended by representatives of the Lagos State Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, the Diplomatic Corps, civil society, and secondary school administrators. The gathering is just a representation of what discussions will look like this week when over 1,200 delegates, including government officials, representatives from international organizations and civil society organizations, gather in London.
The summit will identify specific actions by the international community in 4 areas. Improving accountability at the national and international level, including through increased documentation and investigations. Providing greater support and protection to survivors of sexual violence. To ensure that sexual and gender-based violence responses and the promotion of gender equality are fully integrated in all peace and security efforts.
A panel of discussants give their perspective on the issues, with some familiar information on the situation in the country.
It's the issue of incest. These children are now coming out through sensitization, particularly in the secondary schools. The incest. Last year, I think we had about 3 children. Their father impregnated them, so we had to remove them and kept them with us.
We simply don't have a memory of sexual violation in this country. And that is why when my friend became the Attorney General of Ekiti State, I challenged him. I worked in this sector for a long time, but we don't have a documentation. So the first thing he did in Ekiti State was open the register of sexual violence, sexual offenders. And you'll be surprised that within 3 months, that register was populated with more than 500 names.
As common when issues like these are discussed, more women show up than men. The women want more male involvement, especially in religious circles.
How much of sex education do the pastor who is counseling people about sexual issues understand? So those are issues, not just the spiritual well-being, but also on the social life of the people.
The women reveal that even before the Chibok abductions, young girls have been taken from smaller communities by Boko Haram, sometimes following payment of a paltry sum of money. They say all forms of sexual violence must stop, as the time to act is now. Amarachi Ubani, Channels Television News. And now to the arts. One Kingdom, One Monarch, a play set in the Benin Kingdom, was performed and read at the National Theatre in Lagos. Set in the 18th century Benin Kingdom, the play centers on Oba Akengbuda and a general of the Edo military, Ogbe, who go to war due to a minor disagreement that claims many lives. The play, which was performed by students, was written by Omo Owaifo, who is in his 80s. Our review tonight takes a look at this performance at the National Theatre in Lagos.
When you get tired of hearing your own name, then we'll change our story. Gilda, the ultimate.
This performance at the National Theatre in Lagos was twofold: a reading session and a play titled One Kingdom, One Monarch, performed by the students of the University of Lagos.
May the gods have mercy on us!
Under the direction of Joshua Alabi, the students perform an excerpt of this traditional play, which is set in the 18th century about a friendship gone sour owing to a minor disagreement.
I am sure you all know Outbreak is a great man. What you probably do not know is that his coming here is an act of faith. It is his faith that I will one day be his victim. We will be at war and he will execute me after his will.
Oba Akegbuda has great admiration for the leader of his army, General Ogbe, because of his strength and courage. But suddenly, that love gets lost after a quarrel leads to a needless war that takes many casualties.
My son, you're back. I have felt all day that something was about to happen. My body has been trying to tell me something, but I do not know what it is. You know what it is. So go ahead. Tell me. Funny dreams there? A bit of nightmare there. Save me all of that.
Well, mother, but mother, the little difference is I am going to fight against Obi Ogene. Yes, mother. The man who saved me from the designs of Ibadan.
Hey! May the gods have mercy on us.
To drive this play home, the actors are clothed with different costumes that help embellish the play. The dialogue is also simple in English, with some mannerisms that depict its origin. And there are no special lighting effects either. The author of this play is 80-year-old Omo Owaifo, an engineer by training and a lover of words who has been given a nod for being an inspiration to others.
The play One Kingdom, One Monarch might actually not require us to do more than play monarchical games. But you see, it is also what may encourage all of us to play citizens' games which are not monarchical in nature. Which is precisely why we begin by asking ourselves the simple question: can a play become a play until it is done?
If you go into the details of this play, it has a lot of human behaviors, actions and reactions that you can equate with what is currently happening in our society. Do we need to judge or to war? The answer is yours.
Besides the performance, there was also a reading session from this book.
Long may the other reign. Amen. This is a monumental honor for my father, Agbogidi.
When you get tired of hearing your own name, then we'll change our story. Gouda, the ultimate.
Next on the news at 10, King of Clay, Rafa Nadal wins record 9th Roland Garros title. That's on sports news. Please stay with us.